What's up guys, it's me Anthony, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be my migration into my 9th bullet journal. Yes, my 9th bullet journal. I really can't believe it's already that time. This is a Dingbats A5 with the Earth collection. This collection specifically has a lot more bullet journal handy things, like has a couple more dots on there, like dot grid pages, and there's number pages, index, and things like that. So this setup, I'm using a lot of watercolors. I'm using my koi watercolors, and I'm so happy to be migrating. I did plan on migrating early. I've only got 2 months in the other journal, but this is just because I wanted to keep a new entire journal just for school. So this is gonna be my entire bullet journal for the month of, not the month, the year of my freshman year. For some reason I thought this would be a great idea, and you know, I like the idea that I get to keep, you know, my freshman year in one journal and kind of romanticize my high school years. You know, a TikTok told me to do it, so if TikTok says to do it, I do it. But yeah, so starting off, I'm doing a black stripe. I'm writing freshman year on top of it, and I'm gonna go in and add a couple more flower doodles and kind of leaves to add some doodles to this. This is a very minimal setup in terms of doodles, but not the actual setup itself. I just wanted to make these collection spreads really simple and easy to look at. Now moving on to my future log. Well, both future logs, I'm splitting them up by semester. So this one's semester 1 and the next one will be semester 2. So I'm just going to be doing a black stripe of watercolor and then 5 spots for the months, and I'm just going to have the month calendar, the header, and then we'll have the events off to the side. They're pretty much identical if you ask me. So I'm gonna talk about why I'm doing this thing. So I've been in a planner funk recently, and so therefore I decided to do something different with my setup. And also, since the school year was coming up, I'm like, why not just start an entirely new journal and try some different setups. If you notice that in my August plan, there wasn't as many monthly spreads I had, and in my August plan, we also mentioned that next week's video is going to be a journaling system video. Therefore, you guys can see how I plan on doing my journaling system and how I just plan on making everything flow in my life. So I'm gonna write in the header using my white gel pen. This is the literal hero of this entire setup. Without this, there would be no setup. So therefore, I'm just writing it on my events that I know of. I'm just trying to transfer them from my old journal to this journal. It's not pretty much everything is more in August and a couple holidays, and that's about it. I'm debating if I want to do like a separate holiday tracker, just because it'll be a little bit easier to sift through instead of having them all on my future log. So let me know if you do that in the comments. So moving on to the second one, this is pretty much the same. Like I said, they're almost identical if you ask my opinion. So I'm just going at the same black stripe at the top and then having the same 5 spots for this one. Should be for January through May, and yeah, that's all it is. Oh, I do have a back to school spreads video coming out very soon. It should be out anywhere from like the 16th, like 17th, like literally like one of the day, like the day before I start school, I think. So if you guys are looking forward to that, let me know what kind of spreads you guys want to see in that video so I can add some more. I have like maybe 4 or 5 in there. So after I get done writing in the headers, we're just going to write in the calendars, and that's it. All I'm going to do is write in this header using the white gel pen, just writing semester 2 at the top, and then moving on to my grid spacing cheat sheet. This is the one that is hardest for my eyes, so it always looks janky a little bit because with my eyesight, to not get my head in shot, I have to like look a little bit weird, like go around the tripod. It's just hard for me to film this journal page because of my eyesight is so bad. I have to like find unique ways to lean in without being seen in the camera. So I struggle with this one, needless to say, but I just kind of split this up into halves, fourths, and thirds, and maybe fifths if I need to. Depends. Sometimes I use fifths, and as you just saw, my head decided to make an appearance in the video. So I'm just using a pencil because I don't know why I didn't sketch this out beforehand. That wasn't very smart on my end. The one thing I do like about this A5 plus size journal is that the middle is 7 spaces wide. So like if I were doing a vertical spread, I can have like 7 dot grid spaces. If you've seen 7 dot grid spaces, that's a lot in writing space compared to 6 dot grid spaces in a regular A5 size journal. And also, I can low-key be twinning with my mother. My mother has another Dingbats, but it's not one of the Earth collections. It's one of their regular journals. So I'm just using light color tombows like this taupe and the gray that I used in my August setup. That was not intentional, actually. That just actually happened. So yeah. Now I'm going in doing all the watercolors for this entire like 2-page spread. So I have the grid space and cheat sheet watercolor at the bottom on the left side, and at the top I have my wish list header, and I'm also gonna be splitting up my wish list in between want and need. So I just did smaller headers, and they're very crooked. This is why sometimes I wish I keep my journal straight, because when you're looking at like a crooked journal, I guess you can say, the lines are off. So that's why one is higher than the other. So I just split it in half, and I'm gonna write in the item, how much it costs, and then if I bought it. That's pretty simple, and you guys don't have to watch me sit and watch paint dry. I've had to watch paint dry literally so many times in this setup. I can't even count them on both of my hands. I have to use my hands twice to count them. I had to watch paint dry so many times. You guys get the edited, non paint dry watching version. So this is gonna be my monthly review. I always use this. I love this spread, hands down. Recommend if you need a new collection spread, do this monthly review. It is so fun to just be able to look back at a month in one glance, and also just to see what you were doing. So I have 3 different categories. I use favorite memories, I also do goals, and also do the lessons I learned. I think it's very important to look back at things you did wrong, so therefore you don't have to cause the same mistake. So if I did something wrong in a month, or if a lesson that I learned in general, it doesn't have to be a wrong lesson, but something I learned that will help me in the future and help me, you know, along my journey as a human being, you know, being a decent human being at least. This is 6 months, so I have all the year on here. So I have August through January on this spread, and then the next spread has February through July. Yeah, July. I'm just using a gray tombow. This is a gray tombow that I've been using for this entire setup. It is a really nice, cool toned purple undertone gray. Very much how to describe it. So I was watching Amanda Rachel's new migration video, and for some reason my mind decided to write migration at the top, so I had to go back over in the black watercolor and rewrite it, which is why these flower doodles came about more often in the spreads, because I needed to do something while I was just kind of basically watching paint dry. So I was trying to do something, and that's how these flower doodles came about. I really love the way these flower doodles are adding to the spread. So now that I have this, I'm gonna go in and write in the monthly header. As you can see, my tripod made an appearance in the bottom right corner, so that was fun. So I'm moving on. I'm gonna do the same thing for the month review header on the second spread. Like I said, these spreads are pretty much identical to each other. They're not much of a difference besides the months that's on the spread. That's pretty much the only difference between the two. I try to keep them all the same. This is for February through July, the second half of the year, and I'm doing this journal more as like a keepsake. So like I have my freshman year one journal, sophomore year another, you know, romanticizing my high school years. I've been wanting to, you know, step out of my comfort zone. I guess you can, not out of my comfort zone, more of doing what I want to do and not think about what others will think about it. So like I was hesitant about making everything so high school oriented, because people are like, well, high school's not all of that. I'm like, well, to me, I want to romanticize my life, and you know, if I watch movies, and if I want to have the same feeling about my life when I watch a movie, you know what I mean, I guess. And also, it was kind of fate, because right before I filmed this video, I was watching a TikTok and it was like, how do you expect to live your best life if you can't romanticize your own life? Because, you know, it's hard to explain, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm making this all about what I want it to be instead of caring how people think it should be. And I'm gonna do what I feel like doing because it's my journal and no one else's journal, and I'm the one using it. Let's remember that. You're not using it, I am. Okay, so at the top, I'm writing in the monthly review header, and that'll be it for the spread. I'm so sorry for the tangent I had, because I go on those often if you guys have not watched my video. So new subscribers, just be prepared for a tangent. I'm thinking about starting like a video podcast soon. So yeah, so this is one of those freshman year, I guess you can say, spreads. This is going to be my freshman year milestones. So it's not necessarily just going to be related to school. I just wanted to have all the milestones that I accomplished in my freshman year, and due to the magic of editing, you guys didn't have to pretend like you were watching me paint that one for the brain dump header, because my butt decided to film on a side angle and forgot that you can't see the brain dump header at the bottom. Pretty smart, right? So I'm just writing in the headers. This is a pretty simple spread. Both spreads are like wide open just for like lettering and notes and thoughts like that. Pretty simple. Now moving on to these next spread. This next spread is my finance tracker. I wanted to keep the finance tracker at the beginning of my journal. It worked out really nicely in my old journal, but I did not like how complicated it was. It was really too much for me to handle, if that makes sense. So I just decided to keep it really simple and just go for a description kind of style, like what you see me doing here. I have the description, how much it costs, and just write the date. And then I'm thinking about drawing a line so I have like separation between each month, so I know which purchase came from each month. Even though I do have the dates, it will be a lot more visually easier to see the separation between each months with a line. And then at the top next to the header, I'm just gonna have a place to write things I'm saving for. I feel like there's always great to see something, then you kind of imagine what you're saving for. That makes sense. If I can see that I want to save for this, it'll be more likely that I'm going to save for it if I just say, oh, I want to save for this, you know? So if I write it down, it helps me envision that I could actually do it. Now that I'm done with that, I'm writing in the header using my white gel pen. This is the Uniball Signo white gel pen, by the way. All products are linked in the description box below, so if you don't worry about that. If you like a product you see, go ahead and check the description box. It's pretty much down there. Now moving on to this very last spread of the video. This is my freshman year playlist. If you guys know, I do playlists based off the months, based on feelings. I have a bunch of playlists for like everything, and so therefore I want to keep this one because I usually do like a bullet journal playlist. So like I have a 4th bullet journal playlist, 5th, 6th, and 7th and 8th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I have all those playlists, and I was like, if I want to do a bullet journal playlist, why not just make it a freshman year playlist and keep track of like all the music I've been loving this year. I don't know, it was my thought process. So over there you see those little empty boxes. That's going to be for the top 8 either songs or artists of this like year or journal, I guess you can say. And then next to that, I'm gonna split it up in halves, and that's going to be for albums and artists. And then on the left side, the big open page is going to be for songs, because I'm pretty sure I have more songs than I will have artists. I'm just going to draw in some more flowers. I love this style of flower drawing. It's very simple and beautiful. That's really it. And then at the top, I'm just going to write in my freshman playlist, and then here is a flip through. This is one of my favorite setups. Even though I had to sit here and watch paint dry so many times, it is still one of my favorite setups. It has all the spreads I need. And yeah, so I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Bye, my stationery fam.